Good evening, everybody. Welcome to The Majors Live, episode 304 here on TMSNX Radio, TheMajors.net. I am Adam Hernandez. We have everybody here again tonight. We're not again, but finally.
Yeah.
We've got Dorf. We've got Sean. Let's get into it, everybody. Fan question tonight. Will Josh Gordon land himself a job in the NFL? He has been reinstated. He is back after what? 2 years? 2 seasons?
It's like 19 or 20 months, isn't it?
Yeah, still about 2 seasons.
Yeah. He's been gone for a while. Mm-hmm. Will he have a job in the NFL? Will somebody pick him up? Will somebody take a chance on him? We'll get to that just a little bit. Tonight's show, though, starting out, the very latest in Anthemgate, which, again,
this is its official name now?
That's what I'd call it in this one.
No, I didn't know if it had an official name.
Anthem Ghazi, really, because I always love that.
Because everything's a gate, and, I love the. Was it Deadspin that coined the.
It was Balghazi.
It was Balghazi?
It was Balghazi, yeah, with Deadspin, yeah. But.
It's a good name.
It is a good name. It's a fun name. I liked it. I just. It doesn't fit with national anthem.
Anthem Ghazi?
Yeah. Neil Ghazi. It sounds like some.
Yeah, something weird.
Sounds like some shitty actor or something like that. Neil Ghazi.
Yeah, somebody who stars in a soap opera or something.
Yeah, something like that.
Neil Ghazi is something.
Neil Ghazi is a carrot. Well, we've had 3 different things happen though. One of them is pretty important. It could be a big issue here in the NFL if it is to come to fruition with everything that may happen with it. The other 2 are kind of little talking points that we'll start off with one of the talking points. Vince Scully today said he will never watch another NFL game, and this was his quote. I have only one personal thought, really, and I am so. This is Vince Scully, former play-by-play guy for the Los Angeles Dodgers.
And he did a lot of national work.
A lot of national stuff, too. And I am so disappointed, and I used to love during the fall and winter to watch the NFL on Sunday, and it's not that I'm some great patriot. I was in the Navy for a year, didn't go anywhere, didn't do anything, but I have overwhelming respect and admiration, for anyone who puts on a uniform and goes to war. So the only thing I can do in my little way is not to preach. I will never watch another NFL game. Scully will turn 90 later this month. Very much coming out of that old school kind of thinking. Deadspin, though, put their own, no pun intended, spin on this. And just said another typical white guy gives his opinion that he is against players kneeling for the national anthem. And you know what? I don't know if this is something in general here because I don't know if guys. I hate to say this, especially to you two, because you guys because you guys are white. I think there's people who are generally out of touch with this and don't completely understand what this is really about.
It's true. And
after all of these weeks and months, people still don't know what this is really about.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's I don't want to say it's sad, but I wish people would see past the kneeling and just understand that this isn't about disrespecting the country, disrespecting the military, disrespecting the flag. Because I think that people who, for what these players are protesting, it's police brutality on the forefront against minorities. I don't think are understanding that. And that when you have a protest, you don't protest in your house. You don't protest with a mouse. You don't protest here or there. You protest, whatever.
Man, look at you.
That's very cute.
I actually stole that from the Daily Show.
Who did you steal that from?
But Trevor Noah did it much better than I did. But anyways, you don't. The whole point of a protest is to get it out in the open It's to cause disruption.
Mm-hmm.
That's what the point of a protest is. And I'm not going to go into.
I'm gonna.
Hold on a second.
Okay.
Hold on. I'm not going to go. I'll give you 1 second. I'm not going to go off
after me.
I'm not going to go and say that this is something that's about money or anything like that, because yes, we all know the underlying claims against the NFL that ratings are down because of anthem protests, yada 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 yada. This discussion right now isn't about ratings. It's not about money. It's not about any of that. It's about the bare bones what the protesters are, what they have an issue with. Mm-hmm. And I think that unfortunately that's still getting lost.
The point's not getting made, and that's
on the surface and all of this. Go ahead, Dorf.
I'm going to disagree first with your definition of protest. It's not just to get something out there. It's to bring to light, to agitate for a change in something.
Well, that's what I meant.
Okay. Well,
that's.
But what my overarching point in this, I think that's kind of lost now, because I think that by this protest and choosing to protest, now it's turned out to be such a divisive method, you've kind of lost the whole point. The idea of a protest is to change hearts and minds, right?
You're gonna change hearts and minds all the time, but
yeah, I think you've shut down the ability to change hearts and minds due to methodology.
I don't think you have. I don't think you have. But again, I think that we still have a general misunderstanding what this is about. Mm-hmm. And I think the reason why that it's like that is because people are falling with this in line with this whole just nonsensical idea that this is just completely about disrespect.
Oh, absolutely.
And I'm sorry to say that, but people who see it that way are completely shallow-minded.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And you know what? Again, this isn't what it's about. And yes, you could have your opinion. You can be against these guys, whatever. That's fine. That's your right as an American, mm-hmm. as a United States citizen. But again, though, I think that generally people are shallow-minded if they think that this is just about disrespecting a flag, when it's not. And I think a guy like Vince Scully voicing his opinion, which is fine. I don't think Vince Scully knows. I don't think he's in touch with the real issue that this is about.
Sure.
Again, because Deadspin put it pretty clearly, 90-year-old white guy doesn't. You know what? He was around during the high times of racial segregation in this country. Well, not the high time, but a very contentious time in this country's history.
He was around for the end of it. The end of legal.
Yeah.
Institutionalized segregation. Yes.
Yeah. He saw it,
and he wasn't a child at that point either.
No, he wasn't.
He was an adult.
But
however,
go ahead.
Just because he's A, old, and B, white doesn't discount his ability to have an opinion.
And I didn't say that.
You could say his opinion's wrong, but this whole idea that you should, well, I'm going to go after Deadspin here, just because he's old and or white doesn't disclude him from having opinion in the public discourse.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't.
Exactly.
Absolutely not.
But I believe, if I read the article, that was their point.
Mm-hmm.
That he shouldn't have an opinion because he's old and white. At the same time, Deadspin is allowed to have said opinion on the subject, just as he is allowed to have his opinion on it as well.
But this is where. But you know what? This is the thing right here, though, Dorf. The part of the quote right here where he should really lose people. But I have overwhelming respect and admiration for anyone who puts on a uniform and goes to war.
Sure.
How is this against anybody in the military? How is
the flag?
The flag doesn't represent the military. The flag of the United States of America,
not in a literal sense, but it's been taken that way for a very long time.
Yes, it does not represent the military. The flag,
not in a literal sense, but it does for very many people.
The flag of the United States represents the United States as a whole.
Yeah. It's not a battle flag, correct?
Yeah. And again, this is the shallow mindset of these people. Is that when they sit here and they try to equate the two, that kneeling for a national anthem is disrespect to the flag, therefore it's disrespect to the military. And again, not the case.
Yeah, that doesn't mean people don't feel that way.
I'm not saying that people are not. I shouldn't feel that way.
You're doing, for those who feel that way. There is a large segment of this country that does.
I just think they're shallow-minded. That's it.
Okay, but because they do hold it's a. I'm going to equate it to a deeply held religious belief. You're insulting their deeply held religious belief or patriotic belief or whatever you want to call it.
And that's pretty much.
And don't be surprised when that pisses them off.
Yeah.
Again, some of these people are the same ones that go out and wear American flag T-shirts and, wear it on their clothing or go about disrespecting the flag in other ways that they would deem as being respectful.
Well, if you actually read the entire flag code, you're not supposed to turn a flag into clothing.
Yeah.
You can put the flag on clothing. You're not supposed to turn a flag into clothing.
You're not supposed to lay it flat. You're not supposed to
lay it flat, let it touch the ground. Yeah, you're supposed to do a lot of things.
And it has to, at nighttime, it has to have a light on it.
Yeah, absolutely. Or be taken down. Yes.
Exactly.
But if this is the case, I mean, again, why are people turning on a bunch of players protesting social injustice? Why aren't they looking at the whole giant picture here? I think these people are hypocrites as well.
It comes back down to what is sports for most people.
Yeah.
An escape from reality, a release.
Newsflash, people. Athletes
are people too.
People too. They're going to have opinion. This is their platform.
If you want to get back to the utility of what sports provides for most people, to those athletes, it's a living and a platform.
Doesn't matter.
To most people, okay.
Doesn't matter.
Just don't be surprised when the people who use it just for the social release are pissed off.
Okay.
You've injected the harsh realities of life and tough issues, social issues, into something that people use as a release to get away from that shit.
No.
Don't be surprised when they turn it off because now it's providing stress in their life.
Oh my God. If that's providing stress on your life, then I feel incredibly sorry for you. Sean, players kneeling during the national anthem, is that causing stress on your life?
No.
Dorf, players kneeling.
No, it does not for me, but that doesn't mean.
But I mean, other people. I see where Dorf's getting at.
30 million people in this country.
I see what he's getting at too. I'm just saying, if that's causing stress on your life, then you have a whole hell of a lot of other problems.
Yeah, most people do.
Than just players kneeling.
Yeah, human existence is one of suffering and distress.
But see,
it's a lot better than it's ever been. But it doesn't mean that still doesn't exist for a lot of people.
You got to look at it all different ways too. I understand where Dorf's come from. A lot of people they take it harder than normal because for example, the people who went over across seas, fought for the country, they have post-traumatic stress from all that stuff. They see people.
They fought for people, not a flag.
But still, the flag still represents them to a certain extent because they.
It's a cultural symbol.
Exactly.
They fought. So they're for that person's right to kneel.
So they're still going to take it.
Yeah, correct.
Yes, absolutely. So it's basically
some people just hold the flag in more reverence than people's right to kneel for it.
This is the situation is going to keep running around in a circle,
and even that act of kneeling too isn't disrespect.
No, if anything, it's it's showing fealty.
Yeah, it's showing more respect.
Watch Game of Thrones. Bend the knee.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a sign of ultimate fear of power.
Yes.
Whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Papa John's too. I mean, we're talking idiots in this.
Out of context, those comments by the Papa John's CEO were terrible. But if you put it in the context of what it was, a shareholder conference call. Hey, earnings are down. This is why we think why. We're working on fixing that.
You know what they're having to do now?
What's that? Well, yeah, because the Daily Stormer named them Papa John's the official pizza of the alt-right.
Yep.
Yeah, they've had to distance themselves from that. You know what the Daily Stormer has also done? The New York Times is the official news source of the alt-right. Who else? Name something that said, "Oh, we don't want the alt-right's business," and then the next day they're the official this of the alt-right.
This comes from
as a troll.
This comes from Newsweek. Neo-Nazis and white supremacists have always been distasteful, but now it turns out their taste in pizza is terrible too. Papa John's is horrible.
It's not.
No,
the worst.
Papa
Little
John's.
Caesars is worse.
No.
Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely not.
Absolutely yes.
I've had Papa John's once in my life, and it was like probably the worst pizza. I'd rather eat cottage
No.
Inn pizza.
No.
Cottage Inn is a lot better than it used to be.
Papa John's is worse than Domino's.
Domino's pre-redo?
Yes, and even Domino's redo is still pretty bad. But no, Papa John's is the worst takeout pizza.
Yes.
National pizza
yes, it is awful. So the white supremacist website, the Daily Stormer, announced Thursday that Papa John's is the official pie of the alt-right, posting a picture of a pizza with a swastika fashioned from pepperoni slices. The caption read, "Papa John, official pizza of the alt-right?" ?
You know what that is?
What's that?
A troll. All it is trolling.
Well, that's what they're
because they wanted to send everybody in hysterics. That's all it is.
Well, and that's what the Daily Stormer is.
That's what they. That's 90% of what the Daily Stormer is. Yes, it's one giant troll.
Yeah. Anyways, though, interesting though, coming out of this whole thing. I mean, the important thing coming out of all, and certainly too, people being out of touch and having the real. What this is really about going completely over their heads. That's obviously probably actually the most important thing out of all of this. However, when it comes from an NFL standpoint, Colin Kaepernick filing suit against the league for collusion. Big news coming out of that this past week is that his lawyers are seeking a deposition in terms of owners turning over communications.
7 owners.
Yep. Jerry Jones, Bob McNair, Robert Kraft are the big 3 coming out of all of that. I believe Seattle, San Francisco are 2 other teams that they may be seeking communication turnovers from. But they're seeking emails, they're seeking cell phone records. And I don't know if they're actually going to have to turn it over. However, his
attorneys have requested it.
His attorneys have requested it. We don't know if they're going to be granted that. However, not only could this prove that there's collusion. Now, it is hard to prove that there is collusion. However, it doesn't take much for there to be a smoking gun in this sense. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. It doesn't. Okay, I want to rephrase. It does not going to take much to have a claim of circumstantial evidence. Yes.
Yes. Thank you.
To prove collusion, it's going to take a lot, but to at least have some circumstantial evidence, it's not going to take much.
Yes. But when you look at this further, could this possibly air out some of the NFL's dirty laundry, though?
I'm looking forward to that.
If you're having communications, especially with a guy like Jerry Jones,
especially if you look at any of the shit that's come out about the mid-season owners meetings that they had in the last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
So, essentially Jerry's been the real commissioner forever, and all of a sudden all the other owners are rebelling against him, and he's throwing a temper tantrum in public about it.
Yeah. What are we going to learn about the inner workings within the NFL when it comes to, at least 2 of the most powerful owners in the sport? Mm-hmm. It's fair to say that Robert Kraft and Jerry Jones, you don't get any more power than those 2 guys.
Jerry Jones is the most widely known owner in professional sports.
Yeah.
Owns the most highly valued sports franchise in the world.
Yep.
And is, like I said, has been...
Was they top 3? Are they top 3 still?
No, they are it.
They are it?
Them, the Yankees, and I believe...
Is it the United?
Man U.
Yeah.
All 3 owned by Americans, ironically. Yeah, Arthur Blank owns... No, is it Arthur Blank?
No, it's the Tampa Bay.
The guy that owns the Bucks. Yeah, that's... Shit, forget his name right now.
Arthur Blank owns the Atlanta MLS team.
Is that what it is? I thought Arthur Blank owned a Premier League team too. Arthur Blank, the one who started Home Depot. Mm-hmm. I swear he owned an MLS or a Major League, or whatever. Anyway, I've totally lost where I was going with that. But yes, it's going to be fun to see the NFL's dirty laundry. It's at least going to be entertaining see the NFL's dirty laundry aired in public. However, just from Kaepernick's perspective, I forget. I believe it was on NFL Network. I forget who's. I'm going to steal somebody's take, and I forget who it was, but they had a good point. This is the death nail in Colin Kaepernick's case to have someone sign him in the NFL. You're committing an act of war by getting these. Now, if they end up not being, the judge doesn't grant the request to subpoena these records, you may have a shot. But the second these records get out there, that's an act of war. Colin Kaepernick will no longer be, these guys have a voluntary decision whether or not to employ him. He's employed on a contractual basis. The best he's going to get is maybe a small settlement. Well, if collusion is proven, all he's going to get is a settlement from the league. It's not going to get him a job.
Well, he's going to get lost wages. That's what he's ultimately looking for.
That's what he might be ultimately looking for. That, but if he actually hopes to play in the league again, those are gone.
Well, again, he may understand that. And
if all he's hoping to recover is lost wages, that's fine. But if he ever hopes to play in the NFL again, he's. And unfortunately, when it's going to come to a lost wages calculation, it's not going to help that he was poorly rated over his last several seasons, and his career probably wasn't going to be long, regardless of the the protest and possible collusion. So
turnovers down. What do you have? Like 16 touchdown passes in his final year.
Yeah. What's his QBR though?
How
many games did they win?
I don't have that in front of me.
What were his stats like in anything but?
I don't have that in front of me.
I understand,
dude.
But my point is, they're all not good. What is his stats outside of garbage time? Not good.
Problem is though, you're having quarterbacks who are of lesser talent get signed in the NFL ahead of him. And again, but you know what? If the records do turn out, and what would you say if the records do turn out and there was collusion, Dorf?
It's going to be he might get a nice settlement check. And I wouldn't be surprised if it happened, but I also wouldn't be surprised if the's nothing there.
Let's see here.
And it was 32 teams' individual decision to not want anything to do with him.
Let's see here. This comes from CNN Money, and this was back on October 17th.
It's a couple weeks old.
Yeah, so let's see. Kaepernick gets started the national anthem protest, blah, 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 blah. Whether he isn't playing because of his politics or his playing ability, it's debatable. But the fact is, Kaepernick made $14.3 million with the San Francisco 49ers in 2016. The contract would have paid him $16.9 million this season.
Not guaranteed money.
But when it looked like he would be cut before he got that money, he became a free agent. Kaepernick had good reason to believe he'd get signed by another team. Although the 49ers lost 10 of 11 games, he started last year. He threw 16 touchdowns and only 4 interceptions, a very respectable record. There were no offers. If the arbitrator hearing the case decides in Kaepernick's favor, he stands to win millions in lost wages and damages. It's hard to say just how much he could have earned this season. I'd say that $10 million is about what quarterbacks who are thought to be on the downside of their careers are getting, said Michael Giannetti, managing editor of Sport Track, which tracks players' salaries. That's what quarterback Jay Cutler agreed to when he came out of retirement and signed a one-year deal with Miami. Tyrod Taylor signed a $30.5 million two-year extension with Buffalo.
Tyrod Taylor's a better player.
But only half that money was guaranteed. Kaepernick's collusion complaint points out that he never even got an offer to be a backup, a deal like, and that's always been my point too. Kaepernick has never even been brought in for training camp. But there are former starting quarterbacks, including Colt McCoy and Ryan Fitzpatrick, who agreed to deals worth about $3 million a year to be backups this season, who are worse than Kaepernick, right? Fitzpatrick and Colt McCoy.
You have a head-to-head comparison to Ryan Fitzpatrick as a starter last year and Colin Kaepernick as a starter. You are correct. I don't know about McCoy. McCoy hasn't really played in about 4 years.
So let's see.
But you know what? I'm going to get back to my standard talking points here. It's a fundamental misunderstanding about what a backup quarterback is in the league. Their second QB coach.
Okay, but we're not talking about that though.
What I'm saying is he's not a good fit for the role of what a backup quarterback is in the NFL.
Again, I'll go back to my point that he wasn't even brought in for training camp.
Okay,
that's my over.
At the same time, that's a two-party street. He may have gotten offers, but I'm going to hold out first. I want a starting job. I'm going to hold out for that.
based off of some of his comments in recent weeks, it certainly doesn't seem like that was the case. Sounds like this is a guy who is willing to play for anybody.
Okay.
Let's see. It will help Kaepernick's case if his lawyers find emails between clubs or between the clubs and the league office that show they discuss whether to sign him. But that kind of evidence isn't necessary to win, said Gene Orza, who was the chief counselor for the Baseball Players Union when it won a massive $280 million case against Major League Baseball after teams stopped signing free agents in the late 1980s. A smoking gun was not the basis of that decision. Instead, it was simply the interference of collusion that all of a sudden not one player who was a free agent was getting an offer, or as it told CNN Money that Monday. But it's tougher to prove collusion in the case of a single player rather than a series of players who don't get contract offers. So, yeah, I mean, it is definitely the deck is stacked against Colin Kaepernick. I don't think that there's any question against that. However, I think at this point right now, Colin Kaepernick knows that he's never going to be getting a job in the NFL. So what does he have to lose at this point?
Exactly.
Seriously, what does he have to lose?
He has nothing to lose.
It's a great point. Might as well go down swinging, right?
Yeah. Anyways, what else do we have here? Anything else, you guys, with this? It's actually kind of a slow week when it came to sports this week. Mm-hmm. This was the big story, or one of the big stories coming out of it. We'd also have some NFL stuff to get to here in just a little bit, but the bitches and badasses. Get the music going here. You see it? There we go.
Sure.
Badass. Dorf, go ahead.
Kirk Cousins.
Did you just come up with that now?
Yes, I did.
I was like, wait a second.
What was the final?
They batted down a Hail Mary. Russell Wilson Hail Mary. Although the only reason the play happened was some controversy. Wilson was ruled to have thrown the ball while coming down, being sacked on a play that would have ended the game. However, he was totally on his belly before he got rid of it. The referees initially blowing it dead allowed the Seattle Seahawks a chance to line up and spike the ball and have a chance at a Hail Mary, which was ultimately batted down in the end zone. Kirk Cousins, however, led his team on a furious comeback lasting all of like 35 seconds, going the length of the field to throw a just absolute beautiful bomb to Josh Doxson inside the one, getting run in a play later. So, Kirk Cousins, my badass this week.
Sean?
As we talked on our last show, excuse me, I'm going to go with Andre Drummond. You know, he's finally making free throws. You see what happens when he does this. His team wins. His team doesn't have to worry about, you know, taking him out at the game, at the end of the game, you know, people fouling, hacking him. So, you know, I give him, you know, a high five there, man. It's like
37% last year.
Yeah.
It's 75% so far.
Yeah, it's
30 of 40, not a tiny sample size.
You know, with him doing that shows, like, just the atmosphere, the attitude of the players, too, is a big difference.
Absolutely.
My badass this week, Sports Illustrated. Back in 2014, they predicted that the Houston Astros would win the World Series. That was back during the time when the Houston Astros were complete
baseball.
Yeah, complete dog shit. And lo and behold,
They won the World Series.
They won the World Series in 2017. So, nice little prediction there from Sports Illustrated. So, anyways, moving right along. Bitch, Dorf, go.
My bitch is going to be the Cleveland Browns front office. Not knowing how to fill out trade paperwork correctly, costing them a shot at what they deem to be a franchise quarterback in A.J. McCarron. Rumor has it there's some scuttlebutt going around that
you know what, Dorf? We're gonna be talking about this a little bit later. So
I'm not gonna hash it out. I'm gonna leave it at that.
Okay, cool. But yeah, good one, Dorf. I like it. Sean, go ahead.
I am gonna go with the Denver Broncos. John Elway. Starting Brock Osweiler today.
Oh, come on, Trevor Siemian blows too.
You might as well keep Simeon. Well, what's the difference, man? This is like,
at the same age.
Paxton Lynch is hurt too, isn't he?
Yes, he is.
Yeah,
I believe he's on the pup list still. He had shoulder
it was
surgery.
just the Broncos. Talk about turn for the worst. Holy crap!
Wasting a once-in-a-generation defense.
Oh my gosh, dude, that offense just looks awful.
Another team that could use one Colin Kaepernick, eh?
Yeah. So
yeah,
it's a struggle bus, a big struggle bus with that quarterback situation there. So that's what I'm picking.
Speaking of struggle busing, my bitch this week, Yu Darvish, cost himself probably a nice contract. Well, at least a better. He'll
get a fat contract.
He'll get a fat contract, but it won't be as fat considering he dropped 2 bombs in the World Series.
He couldn't make it past 2 innings in both starts.
Was that what it was?
Yeah, it was
awful.
so bad.
Awful.
Start from the World Series.
Yeah, not a good run of things for you, Darvish. No. But anyways, though, moving right along. Where are we up at now? We got 4 downs. NFL. Here we go. The other big story this past week in the NFL was Deshaun Watson hurting his ACL, out for the rest of the season. I don't know how this is going to carry over into next year. I'm sure he's going to.
He probably won't be able to start the year.
Probably not. Regular season?
Correct.
Damn, that sucks.
Hey, ACLs are a minimum of 9 months. You're less than 9 months away from the start.
How will this affect the Texans seasons this year and then heading into next?
Well, he was an aberration. The fact that they were even relevant this year was all on his shoulders. So it's going to definitely tank their chances this year. But at the same time, next year you're going to have a second-year QB, essentially entering his first offseason as the full-time starter. That's going to really hamper their development that he's not going to be there in the offseason or be able to participate in the offseason to build chemistry with his team.
Yeah,
and you know what, young QBs, that's not something to laugh at.
It's important,
absolutely,
in any sense. Whether
any team, it's important to have your QB ready to roll in the offseason, let alone a young one.
Yeah. Yep.
And just look, right now with Tom Savage, today was not a good 19 for 44.
Just throw 2 touchdowns and didn't turn the ball over.
He only threw 1 touchdown.
That was 2.
Nope, just 1.
All right, sorry.
Another team could use Colin Kaepernick.
That's what I'm saying. 19 for 44. We could have done that when out there did 19 for 44.
I don't know about that.
I think so.
Sean, you're 5'9". I don't know about that.
I don't care. So was Doug Flutie.
Oh, God.
Doug Flutie's also an NFL Hall of Famer, and you're 31 years old and have a podcast.
Hey, you never know. You never know.
Well, speaking of other quarterback injuries, Andrew Luck done for the season.
He's done forever, man.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure his shoulder.
His
shoulder's perma-fucked.
That's the question here. Is Andrew Luck? Are you talking done forever in the sense that he's never going to be Andrew Luck again, or is he never going to step on the football field?
I don't know. There's no reason that he wouldn't be cleared. Essentially, he can't die if he steps on a football field because of his shoulder. But his shoulder is so bad that I bet he will never be able to be an effective NFL quarterback again because of the physical limitations as a result of the injury.
So this is coming to the point where the Colts are probably going to have to end up cutting.
They're going to be drafting a QB this year.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah,
or sticking with Brissett for another year and trying.
This is crazy because Andrew Luck was that guy. Andrew Luck was that generation
franchise.
He was that generational QB. This is the guy that they got rid of their franchise QB for.
And here's the deal. This is what happens when you don't protect. I mean, you got David Card.
Mm-hmm.
Derek's the
Derek's the good one.
Yeah, Derek's the good brother. He got David Card.
And just think about
a lack of investment in the offensive line got him killed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and just think 2 years ago, Luck threw 31 touchdowns.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
4 years ago, he threw 40. And now he's probably going to be
going to be done.
He's going to be a backup for the rest of the
Sean, I don't know that he's ever going to be on a roster again.
I think
I don't know that he's going to be able to use his arm to throw.
He will be on a roster because his name is Andrew Luck.
Okay, then he's going to be in a starting capacity.
So that's all the only way. I'm like, in my mind now, like if he somewhat heals or whatever, that shoulder, which I doubt, it's not even going to come close to what he was before. He's going to be a Sean Hill.
I don't even know if he's going to be a Sean Hill.
That's how I see it.
Here's the deal. I bet you if that's the case, he's made enough money that he doesn't need to continue to stick around on an NFL sideline as a backup. Bet you he'll be one of the next young head coaches in this league. Possibly. Have you ever heard him talk football? He's got it in between here.
Stanford too.
And did well. He was there to play school too.
Yeah.
If you look at what I believe it's architectural engineering.
Something.
Oh, he could be an architectural engineer.
He'll be a coach.
Yeah. Well,
if David Shaw gets hired away. Oh, did you see? Speaking.
Going back to Stanford, coaching Stanford.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Slight detour here.
David Shaw sucks too.
If you're Tim Tebow, do you take the job as Florida's next head coach? Because Randy Shannon obviously didn't want it.
Oh my God. what a total disaster that program is right now.
And Tim Tebow could be the savior. Sure.
Oh, no.
This is deserving. And the head coach? Hey, man. He already has the pregame locker room speech down pat.
Oh, my God. Sean? I don't want to give up his baseball career just yet.
Fuck that. Go make a couple $1,000,000 a year.
Oh, he'd be a college. He'd have to be recruiting in the offseason.
Yeah, no one. You know what? That's the easiest negative recruit. Your coach doesn't take football seriously. He plays baseball in the offseason.
But his name is Tim Tebow, so you're good.
Oh my God! You know what? I don't know if you could quite make that.
I think he needs to coach somewhere first.
That's what I'm thinking right now. Maybe someday he could be the next head coach or head coach of the University of Florida. I do think. I mean, because you're talking about an SEC program, you're talking about a major.
Last thing you're going to give the reins to a 30-year-old who's never coached before.
Yeah, you're talking about a major collegiate program in Florida. I don't know. Was Tim Tebow that?
Vegas currently is a 200-1 odds.
Really?
Yeah. Dan Mullen's 7-2.
Was he a? I mean, he's obviously a well-versed guy. I mean, he's got a good head on his shoulders. Is he? Where was his football
IQ?
Yeah. No. No.
It's got the motivational speaking thing down.
Yeah, but obviously you need more than that. Look at Brady Hoke.
Yeah. He wasn't known as a great motivational speaker.
No, but you know what? He came in, he said all the right things, and
this
people.
Is Michigan.
Yeah,
for God's sakes.
People.
You could be really.
Believe you do have that on the drop board as well.
You could be really, really good in your interview, but
this is Michigan.
At your job.
For God's sake.
Man. Bit. Where are we at now? Jimmy Garoppolo. Am I the only one that was like,
I am not.
He's more physically talented. I'm gonna answer your question before you ask it here.
Okay, can I ask it then?
Go ahead.
Jimmy Garoppolo going to follow in Matt Castle's footsteps.
Jimmy Garoppolo is more physically talented than Matt Castle. Matt Castle is a UD or 7th round pick. Garoppolo was taken in the 2nd round.
Mm-hmm.
There's more physical talent there, but whether or not he ends up in a situation where he's able to use it, I'm still not convinced that, given the reins to a franchise, he has it in between the ears. I haven't seen it on the field. He was very good in that 3 or 4 game run when he wasn't asked to do much.
Mm-hmm.
But when he's, has the weight of an organization on his shoulders,
and
I don't know how he's going to react.
Well, the thing is, you look at it too, it's San Francisco.
Well, that's what I'm going to say, too.
He's going to be running for his life.
The other scuttlebutt is Kyle Shanahan really wants to go full court press for Kirk Cousins this offseason. Yeah. Garoppolo might just be flipped again.
And that's what Schefter was reporting too, that he may just end up being traded.
And plus, didn't they say, I don't know if it's true or not, didn't they come out and say he's not even going to start this year?
He's not guaranteed any playing time. Essentially, that they said this week they would get him functional enough that if he would have to play as a backup, he wouldn't die.
Right.
But they couldn't install enough of the playbook with him this week to throw him in there in a starting capacity.
I don't know.
CJ Beathard looked terrible. So.
God. Why the hell would Kirk Cousins go and play in San Francisco? I know
$2.
Yeah, I know the money. Other than that, though, I mean, there's. I'm gonna get to it here. I'm gonna get to it here in just a little bit, but that franchise is awful, and they're gonna be really, really, really bad.
They've got some nice foundational pieces. It's just whether or not they get built around them before those guys all age out is another story.
Speaking of awful franchises, Dorf touched on this in Bitches and Badasses. Cleveland Browns are pretty much awful at everything. And to piggyback off of what Dorf was saying earlier, it sounds like the GM. This is coming from the coaches.
Sashi Brown.
Yep. Sabotaged that deal to get A.J. McCarron from the Bengals.
On purpose.
On purpose, yes. And I don't know if that could ever be proven. Obviously, there's a huge disconnect between the coaches and the front office.
What'd you think of that media report about the Browns front office goes home at 5 every day?
That's
and we're in a hurry to get out of the office to go celebrate Halloween with their children. That's why they botched the paperwork.
When we're talking the Cleveland Browns, I'm not surprised. Yeah. But not only that, I mean,
remember, it's all baseball guys. It's all baseball guys in that front office. All baseball analytics dudes.
What about this too, Dorf? You have Deshaun Kaiser there.
Yeah.
Guy you just drafted.
Second round, yep.
How does this look to him? You're actively trying to go out and get a guy to come in and be the man at quarterback.
I haven't been good enough. He's been benched, 3 different times?
But again, first season, though. First season. Don't you figure that this takes some time with a rookie quarterback?
Yes. Should.
But again,
this is the NFL, man.
Well,
they wait for no man.
Well, this is the Cleveland Browns.
This
is and our extra point tonight. Will Ben McAdoo be the first coach fired this season?
It's a surprise that he hasn't been fired already.
Yeah, I know. Especially too the way he threw Eli Manning under the bus that one week.
He didn't just throw him under the bus. He backed over him.
Yeah, and then ran over.
Pulled forward and back
on
him 6 times. Yeah.
I was talking about stupid shit of the week. When John Lynch did go out and get Jimmy Garoppolo.
Oh my gosh.
He asked about Tom Brady.
Oh, come on.
No, this is dumb. This is dumb.
It is dumb, but his quote about it was, "You miss 100% of the shots you don't take." It's just like one of those, like, I'm surprised. I don't even know who the general manager is in in New England.
It's Bill Belichick.
Yeah. When he spoke with the personnel people there in New England, I'm surprised it wasn't like, "Hey, so what's the availability of Tom Brady? Hey, John Lynch, fuck off." Click.
Well, that's my.
That wasn't the reaction.
That's my point.
Whereas, like, ha ha ha, just kidding. Jimmy Garoppolo is who I'm really
That's my point though. Here is what kind of boob do you have to be to approach this like that? First of all, you don't have the pieces on your team.
You have to be John Lynch
I would like your next 17 years first round picks, please.
Yeah, for the greatest quarterback that has ever played in the NFL.
Honestly, if that was the whoever you talked to on the phone over there in New England was like, "All right, I want your next 20 first round picks," and John Lynch is like, "Done, sold. Let's get the paperwork done."
For 3 years of
Tom Brady.
Or
Tom Brady would be like, "Fuck that, I'm not going."
He's going to be... he would retire.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. That's exactly what would happen.
Fuck you guys, I'm out.
But I mean, that's exactly my point, though. Dorf is, look, you are a first year general manager in the NFL. You call up one of the greatest franchises to ever step foot on a football field and have the gall to ask for the greatest quarterback to ever play football. What are you doing?
Mm-hmm.
What are you doing?
I don't think it was serious.
I think
this is overblown.
I think too. I think we're seeing Matt Millen part 2 here.
Come on. He's been on the job for 7 months?
I think we are. Yeah, and he has Martin Mayhew at his side, too, in that front office.
Yes.
I do. I think...
Guess where the grinder's at?
Where's that?
Michigan State. It's the director of operations.
Okay.
Sheldon White. Yeah, the grinder.
That's
still the greatest introductory press conference. Will be grinding.
Oh, yeah, that's for Sheldon White. I forgot about that.
Yeah, his son's Cody White, the receivers, kind of exploded as a true freshman.
Huh. Good for him. Anyways. Josh Gordon. Will he land himself a job in the NFL? 2 years. 2 years removed from the league.
Not this year. He won't.
He's uber talented.
He won't get one this year.
I bet you because his offenses are drug and alcohol, correct? That's it?
Yeah.
No victimless crimes.
No beating up women, no nothing like that.
Yeah. He hasn't, hit somebody with a car.
He hasn't kneeled for the national anthem.
He will get a fully non-guaranteed, incentive-laden deal this offseason, but I wouldn't expect to see him with the team this season. However, said the same thing about Michael Floyd last year after he got popped for DUI mid-season with Arizona. He was caught and immediately signed by the Patriots, won a ring, and it was then signed to a off-season deal with the Vikings. Has he played at all of them?
He's played one game, I think.
Did he get hurt?
Yeah.
I think he got hurt.
Yeah.
With the Vikings. Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised.
Bonus time here.
Sure.
Calvin Johnson. Does he come out of retirement?
Nope.
I don't think so.
No,
either.
I don't think so either.
I thought that those. There's so much right now.
If the Detroit Lions would have been able to fleece somebody for his rights, I would have been all about that.
Yeah.
There's so much that needs to happen right now, though.
Yes.
In order for Calvin Johnson to come out of retirement and actually play in the NFL.
And here's the other thing: the Lions are going to have to take salary the other way to make that happen because no one there is $20 million free at this point of the year,
and especially too in the NFL, nobody's going to take on salary.
Right. This isn't baseball
for something like that. When there's a hard cap in this league. When you're dealing with a hard cap, when you're dealing with teams who are already looking for any available cap space that they can possibly muster, not only that, they're not going to let one of their franchise players go and have them play against them and have them pay that player to play against them. Not only that, it has to be the perfect situation. Calvin Johnson needs to want to come out of retirement
and it doesn't
play
seem
for
like
that.
He wants to.
And play and that's exactly what teams are getting back from him. That he's very non-committal in doing that. And why should he be?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he got a golden parachute to stay at home.
Yeah. And look, he has to want to play for whatever team is interested in him. And that team has to have the resources that the Lions are looking for in order to trade for those rights.
Right.
That's what has to happen here.
I mean, all the Lions would expect to get, at most is probably a 5th rounder.
Mm-hmm.
And so what, right?
Yeah. But it's this year or never. I mean, you're not going to be signing a wide receiver who has
been out of the league for 3 years.
And been out of the league for 2 years, yeah.
Yeah. It's not going to happen. Although we just talked about Josh Gordon having that happen to him.
Josh Gordon's a little bit younger.
Yeah, isn't Josh Gordon only like 28?
Yes.
Yeah.
Anyways, real quick here, TMS and Extra News. Gabe Kapler, hired as Phillies' new manager, as baseball clearly makes a further shift towards analytics. Dorf, what do you think of this?
Good move for the Phillies. I think they're in capable hands. It's a perfect hire. I mean, if you have the analytically minded, young, still hip with the kids, manager.
Mm-hmm. So hot, too. Oh, sorry.
Oh, I don't know.
You ever seen Gabe Kapler?
I don't know.
Man.
Hip with the kids manager at a team that's right on
Lays in Philadelphia, man. Oh, sorry.
Okay.
Hey, just think Clearwater, Florida during spring training.
Oh,
he's going to be on that beach.
Doing infield practice.
Because that stadium's right on the ocean.
Doing infield hit around without a shirt on.
Oh, okay. No, back to serious points here. Perfect time. This is essentially right at the time in the franchise's, return that AJ Hinch was hired with Houston. Same type of manager, same type of approach to the game. The Phillies are kind of right at that same point, although I don't think they have quite as much talent as Houston did. At the same time, they didn't bottom out for nearly as long. Right guy at the right time. This could go incredibly well.
Woo woo!
Okay.
Dorf's like, oh, well now.
No. Okay.
Dorf's leaving Emily.
Well, after the comment from last show.
Oh, jeez, man. I'd be one of those why I could never run for president because sound bites like that. I come up with a perfectly rational explanation after that. Totally don't think the sound bite through.
Yeah. Dorf's getting running for office, and all of a sudden, some clip from the Majors Live is going to come up, and some opponents.
Some attack ad.
Sorry, Dorf.
Hey, man, I do not. Okay. Brief aside. The type of character assassination, bullshit, mudslinging involved in running for modern day political office, I want no part of that. I don't even want to run for mayor because that kind of shit happens.
About Pinckney City Council.
There's no such thing, man.
No.
Township boards, that's it.
No,
and they're unpaid part-time jobs.
All right, let's finish this up tonight. Justin Verlander, turning into Tom Brady of the MLB, skips Houston's parade.
Let's go get married.
Yeah, because he wants to go get married to Kate Upton in Italy.
Yeah, shit's booked and paid for, and flights are booked and all that. Yada yada.
Come on, boss move.
It's funny. He's the face of the franchise for the Tigers for long. Now he's the face of Houston for sure.
No, he's not. Carlos Correa and
Jose Altuve
and George. All I do is hit dingers, Springer.
If Verlander comes back next year, obviously pitches the way he pitched in the in the playoffs.
Does he opt out?
Does he have an opt out?
Because he was traded with that much service time, he can add an opt out at any time because he was waived a no trade clause. He could opt out either this year or next year if he chose to.
Wow, that's a good question.
He could exercise. I forget what the deadline for him to tell the Astros I'm opting out is.
One more big contract.
Watch.
He was money throughout all of the playoffs too.
Watch. He opts out and goes to the Dodgers.
That'd be hilarious.
Oh man. Stay tuned for Silent Report. Jameis Winston sucks at pregame speeches.
I didn't see it. I heard it was laughable.
Oh my god.
Do you have the audio?
Yeah, I do.
All right, let's listen. I want to hear this. I heard it was terrible.
Let me bring it up.
Deshaun Jackson's facial expression on that screen cap is great. Hopefully there's no fucking ad here.
Yeah, there probably is. It's CBS. Come on.
What's Twitter?
That's Twitter too. Yeah, sorry.
CBS and Twitter. There's probably going to be 3 ads.
Yep, here comes one ad. It's loading up right now.
Do do do.
Do you want me to read? I think there was a.
Is there a transcript?
I think there was a transcript.
Yeah, let's just wait for it. Let's do the next one while we're waiting.
Okay. Next one while we're waiting. The other one is an audio one too. So.
All right. Well, preload that one.
Well, I have one that we could add to it.
Okay, go ahead.
Teddy Bridgewater is supposed to be activated tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Yep. He's
activated from the PUP list.
Yes,
I would say they don't play this week.
Well,
what are you talking about?
Tomorrow, like he's supposed to be activated back, and so
they're going to throw him right back.
Okay.
They're going to activate him back into the starting lineup, or has Case Keenum done nothing wrong?
Or wait after this.
Okay.
I say one thing. I want everybody to look at me. I'm going to pass it to corn after I say one thing. Go. Let's go. That's a W. Let's eat one. Let's eat one. That's a W. How many people want to eat a W tonight? How many eat a W tonight? Come in. That's all I want.
What the? I'm sure that means something inside the locker room.
Yeah, I didn't know what he was doing at first. He was like eating his hand.
Deshaun Jackson's face is great.
He's like, what is going on here?
Yeah, Deshaun Jackson. Here, put the camera. I want to see what the camera's seeing of me.
Oh my gosh. What?
I just saved that. There we go.
That is awesome.
Oh man.
Yeah?
Oh wow.
Pull it up in OBS and just throw it in the feed. No, because then copyright law and crap like that. Whatever.
Let's see here. I thought I had the. Yeah, I do. I thought I had the audio here for Tony Romo doing a play-by-play.
Just read the. It's only like 5 lines. 50 words.
I want to hear.
Yeah.
You hear Tony Romo say it?
Yeah. There's nothing wrong with that.
Nobody got time for this.
Feely, and this unsportsmanlike call here, Tony, on Hughes. Yeah, he bumps the ref right there. He keeps yelling, and these refs are going to get together right here and be like, hey, he just bumped me. Did you see that? I kind of saw it. Did you see it? Yeah, I saw it. Let's throw a flag then. We just saw it, right? Yeah, I'm game if you are. All right. Oh, let's throw it. 3, 2, 1.
Tony Romo.
Been witness to too many of those conversations. Tony Romo's great. I really like it. Him and Jim Nantz go great together.
No, he's good. He's good. I mean, that was.
At the beginning, it was it's Tony Romo. He's teetering the line from being like great and being too much of a know-it-all. I think he's kind of honed that in. Only a few weeks into his broadcasting career. I think he's got a long future ahead of him. If he chooses to.
Do you think he's the next Troy? I mean, I hate saying this because
Troy Aikman's not all that great. Sorry.
No.
But do you think he's that next national guy, though?
Yeah, he already is.
Well, yeah. I mean, the top national guy.
So you're saying when his next contract is up, do you think there's a bidding war between the networks for him? Yeah.
Okay.
I
don't think you're wrong.
I don't know how long his contract is with CBS. Bet you he kicks John Gruden out of the Monday Night Football spot.
Ooh.
Tony Romo and Sean McDonough.
Tom Brady's not going to be in.
Oh fuck no, he has no reason to. Although I also said A-Rod would never be in broadcasting either, and he's doing it already.
You know what though? A-Rod's a different a different character.
I think
though.
A-Rod is totally doing it to make himself more human to try and earn Hall of Fame. You know,
I think
he's trying to humanize himself for Hall of Fame consideration.
I think A-Rod craves the attention too.
He's doing a nice job, man.
No,
I don't know if you paid attention.
No,
to
I did. He does do.
And David Ortiz is pretty entertaining too.
Yeah.
And those two the banter between those two is great.
No, that was perfect. You get a Yankee, you get a Red Sox up there. I think it's great.
You can tell they fucking hate each other, but enjoy each other's company, and they don't know how they feel about that.
That's like
They're confused about that.
That's like Shaq and Charles Barkley though going at it on the
and that's perfect.
Yeah. I mean that's what you want though when you're in your pre and post game. So
it's not just dry. I think this is going to happen. Okay, it's better than the Fox NFL pregame show. The only one personality on that thing is
Terry.
No, Terry just plays the senile old guy very well, but Michael Strahan's got a little bit of personality.
Yeah, Michael Strahan.
Howie Long doesn't do anything for me.
Yeah.
I'm surprised Michael Strahan hasn't fallen over yet.
Yeah,
just like.
That guy
works so much.
Oh my god,
he's like everywhere.
He's working more now than what he did in the NFL.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
And he's one of the best linebackers to defensive ends. Sorry, one of the best defensive ends to ever play.
You could argue second best behind Reggie White.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, anything else, you guys?
God, you're right. The guy works a lot.
Yeah,
no, he's going back and forth.
He does 5 days a week.
He constantly lives in a plane.
He does 5 days a week in New York on the Today Show.
Mm-hmm. Good Morning America.
Good Morning America. Yeah. You're right. Good Morning America. He does.
Does he do a game show too?
He does do a game show. Like they probably filmed that game show over like a couple weeks.
Yeah,
and it plays constantly, so that's a short-term commitment. Then he flies to L.A. and does studio coverage on Sunday, and is back at Monday morning, first thing in the morning, in New York for Good Morning America.
Yeah, it's quite the
you're right, quite the freak. He's racking up quite a bit of frequent flyer miles.
Anyways, that's going to do it this week, everybody, for The Majors Live, episode 303 here on TMSNX Radio, themajors.net. Catch us again next week, same time, same place. Facebook, YouTube, Periscope, website, Mixler, the whole gamut here. Anyways, SoundCloud. Well, we're not live on SoundCloud. SoundCloud after the fact. Same with iTunes. But good one.
We're looking at Stitcher, too, right? Haven't done it yet, but we're looking at it.
You know what? I signed up for that.
Don't forget to put it up there this week, then.
I don't know if I heard back from them, though.
Oh, that's right, because you have to apply for them.
Yeah. Should have. Yeah, anyways. That's going to do it this week. Like I said, have a good rest of the week, everybody. We'll see you next time.